Playing with fire. One more child's life was added yesterday to the list of little ones who cannot resist the temptation to play with fire and are made to suffer the almost inevitable consequences. Lena, the 4-year-old daughter of Joseph Kutzek of number 98 James Street, was the victim of yesterday's accident. Kutzek is employed as a clerk at the Erie Transfer House. He works during the night and puts in nearly all of the day in sleeping. He was sleeping at home as usual yesterday afternoon. Mrs. Kutzek also lay down to take a nap, leaving Lena and a younger child to amuse themselves about the house. In the course of their play, the little ones wandered into the kitchen, where a fire was burning in the stove. Attracted by the bright blaze, the children watched it for some time, and then Lena, probably to imitate the action of someone whom she had observed, took a piece of paper and held it near the blaze, which forced its way up from the grate in front of the stove. The paper blazed up brightly, and in her childish glee the little girl waved it about her. It came in contact with her dress, which sputtered a moment and then leaped into a flame. Thoroughly frightened and beginning to feel the fire, Lena screamed for her father and mother, who, hastily awakened, ran into the kitchen at the summons and were horrified to find the child in a mass of flames. They seized her in their arms, wrapped her up in blankets, and did everything possible to put out the fire, but when they succeeded, it was too late to save the little girl. The flesh on her body was literally cooked, her face was scorched, and her eyes were swollen shut. If anything more was needed to complete the work of burning, the fact that she had inhaled the flames was sufficient. Dr. Frank Shepard of number 904 Clinton Street was summoned, but as soon as he looked at the patient, he pronounced the case hopeless. Making her as easy as possible, he notified the Fitch Hospital to send an ambulance and then turned his attention to Mr. and Mrs. Kutzek, who in their effort to put out the flames had been terribly burned on the hands and arms. After Lena was removed to the hospital, everything possible was done to ease her suffering, but her agony was extreme until she died at 9:45 p.m.